Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shilpa Data Insights.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we will be covering one more interview question that is asked in big MNC company. So today's question will be one of the question which is asked in FAANG. So I would definitely recommend you to practice this question, and this question is based on the real time scenario what we face in the office, and therefore it's very important to know how to answer this question. I have already created a complete playlist in which I have shown you different ways, different questions that has been asked in big MNCs companies, including the big four consulting company. So this particular video is actually continuation to that particular series. So without any delay, let's get started with today's question that has been asked in the FANG. So basically, when you go to office, you start your day at 10 a.m. in the morning, and then you log out at 6 o'clock in the evening, and then you return back home. So either it's like 8 hours of office or 9 hours of office that you are advised to stay, and that is actually being tracked. So after COVID, situations have been changed, and instead of like 8 hour, 9 hour, you get a flexibility how much time you want to stay in the office and you want to work, and then you have to return back from office and then you have to start working. So keeping this particular scenario in mind, the company have started asking the question, how much time are you staying in the office and working in the office? Basically, instead of work from home, how much time you are doing from work from office in a particular day. So how exactly the companies track that particular data? So you need to have a data set, you need to have a database where the complete tracking system is being done, and in the backend itself, the queries get run and it tracks how much time you go ahead and stay in the office for the work from office days. So let's get check with our dummy data set that we have prepared, and we will see how exactly to approach this question. So we have this data set in which we have employee ID, punch time, and the flag. So flag means the punch in and punch out. I means the punch in time and O means the punch out time. So employee ID 221 is punching in at 7:45 and then punching out at 12 p.m. Then again punching in at 1 p.m. and then punching out at 5:45. Similarly, for employee ID 222, these are the punch in times and these are the punch out times, right? And for similarly for 223, which logged in at 9:15 and he punched out at 1:15 p.m. So we need to find the total hours employee was inside the office. So if you will see, we have this employee ID that is 221. The punch time, the total punch time is actually 10. And for employee ID 222, the total punch time is 8, and for 223, the employee 223 is the punch time is 4. So basically 221 is there for 10 hours in the office, 222 is for 8 hours in the office, and 223 in the 4 hours in the office. So these are in the hours. So it may give you in the question that you have to put it in the hours or you have to put it in the minutes or in the seconds. But mostly in the tracking system, in this particular scenario, you go ahead and check it the hours, how much is the punch time hours. So how exactly will you approach this particular question? So if you will see, you have this employee ID, so you have to get the data output for each employee ID. So now if you will see, if I let's say subtract this 12 p.m. to 7:45 p.m., then that will be the time in which the 221 employee is staying at the office. And if I subtract 1 p.m. from 12 p.m., then that is the time in which 221 was out of the office. That is maybe during the lunch break. So that is the out of the office, which will not be calculated. Then from 5:45 to 1 means from 1 p.m. to 5:45, the employee was inside the office premises. So that time will be calculated. So if you will see, what we have to do in this case is I have to subtract these two values, right, in order to get how much time the employee 221 was inside the office. So how will you get that? If you remember from your Pyspark interview playlist, or maybe the Pyspark playlist, I have covered a lot of windowing function. So the same concept of windowing function we can apply here in order to get the punch time in the office. So here, if I will calculate, what I will do is I will do a lag. So I will create a column here. So in that column, I will go ahead and create the column in which I will do a lag function. So let me unhide this column. So what I'm doing is I'm calculating what is my previous punch time. Okay. So what is my previous punch time? The previous punch time for this input, like first time he is entering the office, so there is no previous punch time. The previous punch time for this 12 p.m. is 7:45 a.m. The previous punch time for 1 p.m. is 12 p.m. and the previous punch time of 5:45 p.m. is 1 p.m. So these are my previous punch time. Similarly, for 222 employee, he just entered the office at 8 a.m. so there is no previous punch time. And then he punched out at 11:30, right? So 11:30 comes here in this particular row. So if you will see the data set very carefully, what we have done is we have done a lag function. The lag of this is null. The lag of this means the previous value is 745. The lag of this is 12, which we wrote it here. And the lag of this 545 here is 1. So we have here. So similarly, the lag of 915 is what? It's null because the 223 employee just entered the office. And for 115, the lag of 115 is 915. So he just punched it at 915 and punched out at 115, right? So now we have to calculate how much time they were inside the office. How we will calculate? We can calculate here it's 7:45, right? So total time here is 7:45. This is basically not in AM. This is actually the total punch time. So let me change that so that it doesn't confuse you. And let me do some more formats. Okay, so this is my time in which the office uh, they were there, right? So if I subtract these two, you will get this value. And if I subtract these two, you will get this value. And if I subtract 545 with 1, then I get this particular value, right? Now, what is the time in which the employee was there? So he was there for 415 hours. So 4 hours. And he was inside the office for 4:45 because here the out time is what? 12 to 1. So for 1 hour he was out. So this was the out time, but this was the inside the premises. So the total inside time inside the office was 415 plus 445, which is actually 10 hours. Similarly, if you will see the time difference we calculated, 11:30 minus 8 is 3:30, 12:30 minus 11:30 is 1 hour, and 4 to 12:30 is 3:30. So now the employee 222 was inside the office for 330 hours and again 330 hours, and 1 hour was the lunch break. So total hours he was inside the office premise was 8. Similarly here, if you will see, the total hour was 4 and this is the 4. So how will you get these values? That is the punch time. You can get it by just summing the out wherever the flag is out. So if the flag is out, then we have to sum those punch times. So 415 plus 445 is actually 10. So this is how exactly you have to approach the question. So let's go to our Databricks notebook and execute all the commands. Okay, so here I have created this data set and I have also shown how the data set looks like. Without any delay, if you don't know how to create a data set and how to create a data frame, I'll definitely recommend you to go back to my playlist and see the playlist of how to create a data frame and how to create a schema. So first of all, let's do some imports. So for the imports, I'm doing Pyspark.sql. I'm importing the window because I will need the window function, and I will also import one more function here, which is the call and sum. Okay. Now let's calculate what is our previous punch time. So if I have to calculate the previous punch time, then I have to partition the data set with the employee ID. So let me create the window. So df dot, first of all, I'll create a column. Okay, I'll create a column which is named as previous punch. So in this previous punch, I have to declare a window. I will be declaring that window, and I will be calculating the lag. So I will do the window on partition by, what is my column name? It's called employee ID. And how I will be partitioning? I will be partitioning it by employee ID, and what I will be doing is I will be ordering it by the employee ID. Order by the column punch time, not employee ID. Okay, so this window is created. Now what I will be doing is I will be creating a lag, and in the lag I will be declaring my column name, that is my punch time, and I will do on the window dot over my window. So I also have to import the lag here. So let me execute this import first. From pyspark.sql.functions import this, and then let me execute this particular df previous dot display. There's an invalid syntax. Let me check. Okay, so there was a spelling mistake like the order by and the dot, so I fixed it. So if you will see, this is our data, right? So previous punch of this is this, which is written here. The previous punch of this is this, which is written here, and the previous punch of this is this, which is written here. Okay, so now what is our next step? So if you will see, the previous punch time is here. So now I have to calculate the difference between my punch time and my previous punch time. So for that, I will be creating another data frame, df difference, and my previous data frame was df previous. In the df previous, I will be creating one more column as I was showing you in the Excel sheet, and that I will name it, let's say, as difference. In the difference, what I will be doing is I will be going ahead and calculating the difference, right? So I will be doing a punch time minus the column. The column name here is previous punch. And let me cast this to long. Now let me see what result I will be getting. Let me do a, okay, I think the long is not in the correct place. I have to close this bracket and then do it. Now let me do a df diff dot display. So this is my difference, but if you will see, it is actually in seconds. So we have to convert this seconds into hours. So if you know, if you have, how you convert the seconds into hour is just by dividing by 3600, that is 60 into 60. Now this will be actually in hours. So this is my data. So this is 1 hour, this is my 4.2 hour, this is my 4.75 hour. Now, let me go ahead and calculate the sum. of the out records. So how I will be doing is I will be grouping the data set of the employee by employee ID, and then I will be calculating the sum or from the difference column, but we only have to do it for the flag wherever the flag is O. So for that you can use the when otherwise condition. So let me go ahead and do that. So I will have my answer. Let's say that that's my data frame. I already have this df diff on the top of which I will be doing a group by on the column employee ID. And once I do the group by on the employee ID, I will be doing an aggregation. So I will be doing an aggregation of how I will be doing an aggregation. You have to understand that. That is when the column flag equal to O, then I will just get the column, the data that is there in the diff. Otherwise, I will go ahead and give the result as 0. Otherwise, 0. Now, what I have to do here is I have to sum it up. So for summing it up, I will go here and do a sum of this particular thing. So now you understand how you are grouping by, how you are aggregating the data, and aggregating on the basis where the flag is O. Now let me do one thing. Let me show this answer and let's see whether it's coming up. So it says when is not defined. So we have to define the when as well. Now let me run this. Otherwise can only be applied on a column previously generated by when. So let's resolve this. Okay, the error was actually related to the bracket closure, so I did fix it. So let me run this again. So now I can see that this employee ID was in the office for this much hour. The employee ID 222 was for this much hour and 223 was for this much of hour. Now, as I can see the column is in a very different way, what I can do is after going ahead and doing an aggregation, I can alias the column name by the name that I want. So let me alias this as the office hours. And if I don't want it in the integer, what I can do is float. I can go ahead and cast that to integer as well. So let me go ahead and do that. So this is my office hours for each employee ID. So I hope you have understood how to actually solve this particular question. And in this question, a lot of things were involved to understand. One is the windowing function, second is the grouping, third is the aggregation, fourth is the order by, and the fifth is the alias. So there's a lot of things that interviewer is also trying to check along with how exactly you are approaching the question. So this is a very famous interview question nowadays, so don't miss this out. To practice it by your own using your keyboard and your laptop and the Databricks notebook. If you want, you can also use any IDE like Jupyter, but make sure you go ahead and practice it. And also watch the complete playlist because in that a lot of interview questions I have already created, and it will really help you in cracking the interviews and also be job ready at the same time. I hope you have liked this video. If you have liked, then do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends as well. Thank you for the next video.
Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you have a good day.